Rudy, in his previous life, was a hikikomori who spent his days and years in isolation, and there was a reason for it. He had a deep-seated fear of leaving his house due to bullying and attacks on him at his old school. This led to him not leaving his parents' house for a decade until his own relatives beat him with baseball bats, so that he finally leaves. So it took a lot to get him to leave his old home, and shortly after that, he took the isekai taxi to the next life. But even though he was transported to a new world by Truck-kun, he wasn't magically healed all of a sudden from his past trauma. Despite having a good home and loving parents, he still had a paralyzing fear of the outside world. So although the house he lived in had become bigger and friendlier, he still didn't want to leave it. That changed only when Roxy took him under her wing and led him outside, thus helping him to finally be cured of this past trauma. She, in the meantime, became an important figure of trust and a role model for him. She was the one who taught him more magic, and since Rudy was obsessed with magic at this time, Roxy became a respected figure to him. And it wasn't because anyone told him to respect Roxy or that she was praised and seen as superior to him. It was because Roxy earned his respect through her magical abilities and the way she taught him. Of course, Rudy was also infatuated with Roxy as a woman. For him, while it had been years since he left his old life behind, it was still almost unbelievable that a woman was talking to him kindly. And Roxy also developed quite a lot of respect for Rudy as well. And even though he had an advantage due to his knowledge from his old world, it was his years of hard work that expanded his mana pool, allowing him to store enough mana to eventually cast a Saint-class water spell after Roxy showed it to him. So the respect of his teacher Roxy was also earned by Rudeus. And this spell, Cumulonimbus, which creates a storm cloud, was not only spectacularly animated in the anime, but also becomes important later on. To be a bit more specific while avoiding spoilers, the next level of this spell, or rather the king tier class of it, likely served, together with Roxy herself, as inspiration for one of the most iconic isekai characters, and one of the most iconic spells in isekai ever. But that's a topic for another time. To get back to the topic at hand, it was this attraction that Rudy felt, combined with the genuine respect he had for Roxy's abilities and accomplishments, that led him to see Roxy as a kind of higher being. Later on, he practically worshipped her as a goddess. Naturally, the exploration of Rudy's feelings towards Roxy continues, and she becomes significant in various ways throughout Mushoku Tensei because, as I said in other videos, the story is well thought out, makes sense, and cleverly ties together all plot points later on. And that's more or less the reason why Roxy Migurdia is so admired and literally worshipped by Rudy. Okay, bye.